I would say most of us spend our lives avoiding difficult conversations. We know we need to have them with a partner, with a friend, with a colleague, but just the thought of it leaves a knot in our stomach. The anxiety can feel really, really overwhelming. We fear rejection. We fear conflict. We fear saying the wrong thing. So instead, we stay silent. We pretend everything is fine, while underneath, resentment builds up and relationships, well, they slowly erode. But the truth is, avoiding the conversation hurts far more in the long run than facing it ever could. And when we learn how to speak honestly, calmly, and courageously, we don't just repair relationships, we transform them. In this video, I'm going to show you how. So, how do we do it? How do we face those conversations without spiraling into fear or defensiveness, rambling on, forgetting what we wanted to say? The first thing to remember is this: difficult conversations, they aren't meant to be easy, but they can be respectful, truthful, and really super healing. So pick the right time for a tough conversation. You want to avoid talking about your issue when the other person is distracted, tired, or not emotionally ready. If you do, it often backfires and creates even more distance. So choose a time when both of you can be fully present. When you do meet up, all of the experts say, skip the small talk. This isn't a casual chat. Instead, start with honesty. Set the tone. For example, I need to share something with you. It's been on my mind for a while. And of course, I want to hear your thoughts about it too. So your aim is to set a clear, respectful tone. It also lets the other person know that this isn't about blame, it's about dialogue. And keep it simple. When we're nervous, we tend to over-explain, but giving too much detail can sound really defensive before the other person has had a chance to even respond. So instead, share what you're thinking slowly, clearly, and without too many layers. The details will come out later if they ask questions. And remember, the person you're talking to already has a million thoughts of their own, stresses you don't even know about, and responsibilities you're not aware of. So when you give them this new, emotionally charged information, it can feel to them like a huge overload. So go slowly. Use your pause. Allow them to speak, answer, or comment. And don't rush it. Use your breath to allow the other person time to take in what you said. Think of it like planting seeds. Your job is to plant the seeds, to give them the soil to germinate, the water, the right temperature, and the rest of it, well, how the seed actually responds is kind of out of your hands. So no amount of forcing, of pushing will get them to grow any faster. So what I'm trying to say is that you only have control over your words, your emotions, your responses, and not theirs. In the words of Viktor Frankl, between stimulus and response, there's a space. In our response lies our growth and our freedom. In simple terms, think before you speak. And guys, there's nothing wrong with vulnerability. If you show up wanting to be right or to win the conversation, or you show up wearing this mask of, I'm here on this mission and I will not be defeated, this will almost always end up going badly. But if you show up with honesty, look, this isn't easy for me. I've thought about it a lot. I'm coming from a place of truth and vulnerability. You automatically disarm defensiveness and open up the door for connection. And very importantly, for any tough conversation, is the power of your conscious breath. And science tells us that when we're stressed, the amygdala, the brain's emotional alarm system, well, that takes over. And that's when our words fly out impulsively. But when you choose to pause, and you take one long, really slow, deep breath in through your nose and out through your nose. You re-engage the prefrontal cortex, and this is the part of your brain responsible for higher reasoning and empathy. So before you speak, breathe. If they interrupt you, breathe. And if they say something hurtful to you, just breathe. Even better, pause long enough so they can hear the echo of what they just said. You can also ask them to repeat what they just said. So when somebody says something to you that really cuts deep, it comes from raw emotion. It's coming from their emotional center, their amygdala. But when you ask them to repeat it, they're speaking more from their rational brain, from the prefrontal cortex, and they will then hear their own words quite differently, maybe more so how they were delivered to you. And I have to emphasize here the importance of choosing to not take offense. If the other person reacts really badly to what you're telling them, remember that they are hearing this for the first time. Of course, they're going to be emotionally charged. So you've got to give them space and make a conscious decision to allow. They will need time to go away and think about what you've just told them. And what you could do is offer to meet up again in a few days. And once you've had your conversation, thank them for listening. Let them know that you value their opinion. So next time you have a really tough conversation with someone, pause. Using the power of the breath, speak with vulnerability, and remember, you're not trying to win. You're trying to build a bridge where you can meet. Difficult conversations, they aren't meant to break connection, they're meant to deepen it. So when you show up with patience and respect, you're planting the seeds for healing and understanding. And you may, of course, stumble. You may not say it perfectly, but the courage just to show up, to speak your truth with kindness, will always take you further than silence ever could. And if there's one thing that I want you to take away from this video, let it be this. The conversations we fear the most are often the very ones that end up setting us free. Have a beautiful day, my friend. Namaste.